Greetings, everyone. So, I want to talk about you and your smart home. I got a smart home. I got pretty much everything wired up where I do very little bit of physical and more voice command. The problem is, if you're working on your smart home, you're going to have family members coming over, guests or whatever, and probably spending the night or spending the weekend. Here's where the problem is. They're not going to know all the commands and routines that you already have set up. So therefore, you got to make your house smart home friendly. So that's what I want to talk about in this video. Okay, so like I say, you got to make your house smart home friendly. For the guests that come over and spend some time that doesn't know all your routines and stuff like that. And then you might have switches that you deactivate that you don't want them to flip anymore because that's going to mess up your smart bulbs that you already have set up. So therefore you leave the switch on all the time. You know all about that, but they might not know. So they come and flip the switch off and probably flip it back on a couple of times just to try to get the light come on, which might mess up the connection between the light and your voice assistant. So now you have to go to and set it up again. So let's talk about how to make your smart home guest friendly. Okay, for switches, the light switches, you might activate them by voice command. You already know that, so you don't really use the physical switch anymore. But a guest won't know that. They will automatically come and try to flip the switch. So try to get smart lights that you can control using a remote switch. Or replace the switches with remote switches that can control your smart bulbs without interfering with the setup of the bulb. I got the Philips bulb that has the remote switch that I stick on the wall that I use to turn the light on and off. That remote can be taken off the wall if I need to use the switch anywhere that I want to. And here's what the switch look like. It's the Philips Hue, and like I said, I can take it off the wall. It's magnetic, so it sticks to the base automatically. So you can do that for each one of the rooms in your house that uses smart lights. And they won't get confused of how to turn the lights on and off. You can give them a quick rundown that this that you have mounted on the wall is what turns the light on and off. And I think they can take it from that point on. Now, like I say, you can physically replace the switch that's mounted on the wall with a smart switch. If you don't mind getting dirty and rewire that switch, then that's another way to go about it. Just make sure if you're going to do an electrical wiring, you go to the switch box and turn off that breaker. But if you can't do that because you're living in a rental property and you don't want to modify the electrical system that they have already installed, well, go with the remote switch. Now, beyond the lights, if there's anything else in your smart home that you use to operate using your voice assistant, or you have some smart plugs or smart switches or whatever the case may be, you probably have to let them know how to operate that stuff. So you can write out a set of commands that you want to let them know this is how you do this and this is how you do that. So you can have like a playbook for that particular device or devices inside your home. Another thing you can do, like I did in a previous video, is use an older device. If you have an old phone or an old tablet, you can use them to actually create all the smart home apps into one device and use that as a remote control. And then you just get them a quick tutorial, show them how this is how you control this and this is how you control that. But mainly with your guests, the only thing they're really going to be fiddling with anyway is the lights. The TV, you got the remote. Your TV might be app connected like mine. Like I can use voice command to turn my TV on and off, but I can also grab the remote and do the same thing. So you just give them the remote. They're going to know how to turn the TV on and off and change the channel. Even though I can use voice command to control my TV, they don't really need to know that, but you can let them know if you really wanted to, that they can turn the TV on and off and mute and control the volume using their voice command. Now for your guest room, you want to use one of the regular Echoes, not the Echo Show, because if you have your contact information on there, you might not want them to see that. I wish Amazon created multiple accounts that you can put into your device, like a guest mode, so you can put one of those things inside the guest room. They can still play music off your accounts and stuff like that, but they can't access any personal information, or make it where you can lock down your contact information for guests that comes over so they can't see your contact information unless they enter a certain PIN number. Another thing you might want to consider is getting a smart lock. So with those smart locks, you can give out temporary digital keys so they can come and go whenever they need to. And with it being temporary, it will expire after that time period that you have it set up for. And this is easier on you because you don't have to go out making duplicate keys, which can probably get lost or get duplicated themselves. And with a smart lock, it logs who's coming and going and who opens and closes if you need to access that type of information. And since we're talking about smart locks, let's talk about your security system. So if you have a smart security system that lets you grant access to certain people to come and go within a certain time frame, then you can also set that up. And then once they leave, either the system will deactivate the code or you can go in there and deactivate the code yourself. With some of your smart bulbs, you can set up motion sensors. So in the kitchen at night, when y'all go into the kitchen, the light comes on automatically because the sensor detects my motion and it automatically turns on the light. So that's another thing you can set up for your guests, because if they decide to get a glass of water in the middle of the night, at least they can walk into the kitchen not fumbling with a switch, and the lights will come on for them and automatically shut off after they leave the kitchen at a certain period of time. So you can put some in the bathroom, in the hallway, and other areas in your home that they're going to need access to while it's dark, so they don't have to fumble around with light switches that they can't find. Okay, so those are the things I can think of right now. I mean, there's probably some other areas that you can think of depending on how your smart home set up, but I wanted to cover those highlighted areas. Your smart lights, the Echo Show in your guest room, motion sensors for the nighttime, smart lock, your smart security system. So if you have those kind of smart things in your home, have them already set up for your guests. So when they arrive, they can just jump right in and you can just give them a quick overview of what's going on in your smart home so they won't be so confused. And now your smart home is guest friendly. And like I said, if there's other things in your home that you want to have them to just make their life easier, routines and stuff like that, you can write them down. Create a little menu book and let them know if you use this command, this is what's going to happen. And if you want to use that old phone or a tablet to be like a remote control for your home, just set it up for them so they can control those various things in your smart home. That makes their life a little bit easier because you know how to control it, but they won't. All right, so I hope this video was helpful in some way to help you set up your home for guests that's coming over to spend a little time with you. And if there's anything in your smart home that I didn't cover in this video, just think about how to set it up for your guests to make their life a little bit easier inside your smart home. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave it down in the comment section. If this video was helpful to you, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Thanks for taking the time for watching. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time.